Why ADHD makes you doubt your competence, even when you're actually capable. One of the most painful and confusing experiences with ADHD is doubting your own competence. You may know, logically, that you're intelligent, capable, and skilled. Others might even tell you this, yet internally, you feel uncertain. You hesitate before committing. You second-guess your abilities. You may downplay your strengths or feel like you're faking it. This gap between what you can do and how you feel about your ability to do it isn't a confidence problem. It's a nervous system and experience problem. Many people assume confidence comes first, and competence follows. With ADHD, it often works the other way around, and even then, confidence doesn't always catch up. You can be competent, produce good results, and still feel unsure of yourself. This disconnect isn't because you're dishonest or insecure by nature. It's because ADHD disrupts how competence is experienced internally. Competence is built through consistent feedback loops. You try something, it works, you internalize success, and confidence grows. ADHD interrupts this loop in several ways. Inconsistency, emotional intensity, memory bias, and burnout all interfere with how success is registered. You may succeed one day and struggle the next. When success feels unpredictable, the brain hesitates to trust it. Confidence requires predictability. ADHD often removes that sense of predictability. Another factor is how ADHD affects memory. ADHD brains tend to remember failures more vividly than successes, especially emotionally charged ones. A single mistake can outweigh 10 successes in your mind. This creates a distorted self-assessment. You might objectively perform well, but subjectively feel unreliable. Over time, this leads to chronic self-doubt, even in areas where you're clearly skilled. Feedback also plays a role. Many people with ADHD receive feedback that focuses on errors, missed steps, or inconsistency rather than overall competence. Even positive feedback may feel conditional. You did great this time, that this time matters. It reinforces the idea that success is temporary. When feedback feels fragile, confidence doesn't solidify. Burnout further complicates this. When you're burned out, your performance drops. Tasks that once felt manageable become difficult. If you don't recognize burnout as a state, you might interpret this drop as proof that you were never competent to begin with. This is devastating to self-perception. Burnout masks competence, but it doesn't erase it. Another reason ADHD undermines perceived competence is emotional regulation. Strong emotional responses can make challenges feel overwhelming, even when they're technically manageable. If a task triggers anxiety or frustration, your brain may interpret that emotional difficulty as inability. In reality, the difficulty is emotional, not skill-based. There is also the issue of invisible labor. People with ADHD often expend more effort to achieve the same outcomes. Because this effort isn't visible, success may feel undeserved. You might think, if it takes me this much effort, I must not be good at it. This belief ignores the neurological cost of executive function differences. Effort doesn't equal incompetence. It reflects system demands. Many people with ADHD also struggle with comparing internal experience to external outcomes. Others appear calm and consistent. You feel chaotic and effortful. Even if outcomes are similar, the internal contrast makes you feel less capable. This comparison fuels impostor syndrome, the feeling that you don't really belong, or that you'll eventually be exposed. Impostor syndrome is extremely common with ADHD, not because you lack ability, but because your internal experience doesn't match cultural expectations of competence. Society often equates competence with ease, consistency, and emotional neutrality. ADHD competence often looks different. Creative bursts, non-linear progress, deep focus mixed with struggle. When competence doesn't match the expected shape, it's discounted. Another contributor is over-reliance on external validation. When internal confidence is weak, you may seek reassurance from others. Praise helps temporarily, but it doesn't stick. Without internal integration, confidence remains fragile. The goal isn't to stop valuing feedback, but to learn how to internalize it. Internalization is key. Many people with ADHD hear positive feedback, but don't absorb it. Compliments slide off. Criticism sticks. This isn't humility, it's nervous system bias. The brain prioritizes threat over reward. Learning to consciously register success is part of rebuilding confidence. Competence also becomes confused with consistency. You might believe that being competent means performing at the same level every day. ADHD makes this unrealistic. Capacity fluctuates. Competence doesn't disappear on low-energy days. But when consistency is used as the yardstick, self-assessment becomes harsh and inaccurate. Another damaging belief is that confidence should feel solid before action. With ADHD, confidence often comes after engagement, not before. Waiting to feel confident delays action and reinforces doubt. Learning to act with uncertainty, without interpreting it as incompetence, is crucial. Confidence also erodes when mistakes are interpreted globally. One error becomes evidence that you're bad at everything. This all-or-nothing thinking is emotionally driven, not factual. Separating specific mistakes from overall competence helps restore balance. Rebuilding confidence with ADHD requires redefining what confidence actually is. Confidence isn't the absence of doubt. It's the willingness to act despite doubt. For ADHD brains, confidence often looks quieter. It's less about certainty and more about trust in your ability to adapt. Competence becomes more believable when you track evidence. Externalizing success helps. Writing down completed tasks, positive feedback, and moments of capability creates a record your brain can revisit. This counters memory bias and builds a more accurate self-image. Another important step is distinguishing skill from state. Burnout, stress, and overwhelm are states. They affect performance temporarily. Skills persist across states. Learning to say, "I'm struggling right now," instead of "I'm bad at this," preserves confidence. It's also helpful to notice where you feel competent without questioning it. Many people with ADHD feel competent in crisis, creativity, or problem solving. These areas offer clues about your strengths. Confidence grows when you recognize competence in diverse forms, not just traditional metrics. Language matters here too. Saying "I can't do this" shuts down possibility. Saying "this is hard right now" keeps the door open. Subtle shifts in language reduce emotional intensity and support confidence. Another key piece is reducing overexposure to environments that constantly challenge your executive function without support. Constant struggle erodes confidence. Balanced environments that allow you to succeed reinforce it. This isn't avoidance, it's strategic self-care. Confidence also improves when goals align with values. When you're working towards something meaningful, effort feels purposeful. Purpose buffers doubt. Even when things are hard, you can tolerate uncertainty because the direction matters. Rebuilding confidence takes time. Years of doubt don't disappear overnight, but each experience of supported effort adds weight to the scale. Confidence doesn't suddenly appear, it accumulates quietly. It's important to note that doubting your competence doesn't mean you lack it. Often, it means you've been operating in systems that don't reflect your strengths. Changing how you measure yourself can reveal competence that was always there. Inside Dopaloop Pro, we talk openly about confidence and competence for ADHD brains. We help you separate skill from shame, effort from failure, and capacity from worth. If you want ADHD-friendly support that helps you see your ability clearly without pressure, or pretending you'll find the link in the description,